Hi there, I'm Josh from Pan American Seed Company's Handpicked Vegetable Program, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to plant a veggie and herb garden on your patio. The first thing that you need to keep in mind when looking at planting veggies and herbs on your patio is the type of container that you're going to use. I've been using this whiskey barrel for a few years now on my veggies and it works great. It's about 22 inches in diameter, but keep in mind you can use whatever type of container you want. It could be ceramic or plastic or wood, it could be bigger, it could be smaller. The main thing that you have to keep in mind when choosing the container is that it has good drainage. If it doesn't have holes in the bottom of the container for water to flow out, it's not going to be good for growing your veggies and herbs. In the case of this whiskey barrel today, I'm going to plant 5 items. I'm going to plant a tomato, 2 peppers, and 2 herbs. So that kind of gives you an idea of the size of this container and how many things I could plant in it. Let's start with the tomato, because it's going to be probably the tallest of any of them and the biggest. When you're choosing a tomato, you have to make sure that you're choosing a variety that is suitable for growing in a container. The last thing that you would want is an indeterminate tomato, which is one that could get 5 to 8 feet tall, rangy, leggy. You want one that stays really nice and compact. So when you're looking for a tomato variety, choose one that says determinate on the tag, and then ideally you would want one that's suitable, that even calls out that it's good for growing in a container. So this variety in particular is Little Bing, which is one of my favorite patio type red cherry tomatoes. So we got our tomato. I'm going to plant a sweet pepper. This is a bell. And then I'm also going to plant a hot pepper. And then my 2 herbs that I've chosen, I'm going to plant a basil and an oregano. So I've got them spaced out here. When it comes time to plant, I'll give you a little hint here. First off, I filled this up with soil to about an inch below the line of the container. I'm going to take this tomato out of the container, and then what I like to do is remove the bottom leaves. And I'm going to come up and show you a close-up on that. So I just pinch these off. You can use clippers or pruners or scissors, but I like to just use my fingers. Okay, so I've removed these, and now what I can do is I can bury the portion of the stem that I just removed the leaves from. And that'll give the plant nice stability. It also will, roots will eventually grow off of it, and so you can get a nice stronger plant. It'll take up water and nutrients better as well. Okay, so I removed the bottom leaves. Now I'm just going to bury it, like I said. And as you can see, again, I'm burying that portion of the stem that I removed the leaves from. Okay, our tomatoes planted. Pretty much the exact same thing with the peppers. Take it out, remove the bottom stems or leaves. You can even kind of see with this bell pepper, it's a little leggy right now. And so by burying that portion of the stem, it's just going to be a nicer, sturdier plant. And I'm going to try to space these out evenly in this container. Now, one thing I also wanted to show you a little tip on the hot pepper that I have here. If you can see, there's actually flowers on the plant right now. The fruit will come from those flowers. But what I want to do is get this plant established and have it grow a little bit bigger before it's going to form its flowers and then consequently the fruit. So I'm just going to pick these off. If you don't get every one of them, it's not a big deal. Well, again, I'll come up close and show you. So just remove that. And like I said, I put the tomato in the back just because it's probably going to get the tallest, followed by the peppers, and then I'm going to put the herbs up front. This oregano, actually, it's an Italian oregano that tends to sometimes trail over, so it'll be nice and it'll actually act as a cascading spiller, if you will. So I'm going to plant that kind of close to the edge of the container. And then my basil, this is Everleaf Emerald Tower, which is one of my favorites. This thing will continue to grow and produce leaves for all summer long without flowering, which is a really nice trait when it comes to a basil. All right. So as the tomato continues to grow, and even the peppers for that matter, if you wanted to put some sort of trellis or a bamboo stake around these to give them a little bit more support, that's totally fine. As you can see here, I have one tomato in a container just to kind of give you an indication of the size of the plant right now. It will continue to grow, but it'll stay pretty manageable in here. So if you wanted to do the same thing in a different type of container, you are more than welcome to do that. That is great. Next thing that I want to do is fertilize. And when it comes to fertilizer, I like to use a dry or granular fertilizer that's organic, suitable for all different types of vegetables. And the reason that I like to use a granular fertilizer is because when you have things in containers, you're going to be watering them a lot more. And as the water drains out, the fertilizers are also going to drain out if you're using a liquid one. Using a granular fertilizer means that every time you water, it's going to slowly release the nutrients into the soil around the roots. So I just add a little per the directions on the container, right around each plant. And then in the case of the peppers and tomatoes, I kind of like to do it one more time. I'll try to fertilize again right when they're starting to flower, because that'll help it have a lot of nutrients and then it will produce a lot of flowers and then consequently produce a lot of fruits. So now that I've fertilized, I'm going to water these plants in. So let me grab this over here. One of the main questions I get about growing things in containers is how often do you have to water? And I wish I had a magical formula for you. This thing keeps kicking. I'm going to move over here for a second. But the fact of the matter is that it's really going to depend on the temperature, the size of your container. So that's again why it's really important to have good drainage, because if you water it regularly, any excess water is going to drain out of the bottom. But you want to make sure you water well, water deeply, and then let the soil dry out in between. So another way that you can tell if you need to water is you stick your finger in, and if it's dry, you add some more water. Your plants will probably also let you know if they're thirsty, because they'll start wilting and drooping a little too. Two last things to consider. First off, you want these in full sun. Peppers, tomatoes, herbs, they really, really like a lot of light, so make sure that you plant it in an area that gets as much sun as possible. And then also temperature. Make sure to plant these out after all danger of frost is past, and ideally, you're going to get temperatures, daytime temperatures, 60 degrees or higher. All right, now it is your turn to go out there, plant your containers full of veggies and herbs, and have a very fruitful, bountiful harvest.